Hello and welcome to a brand new series, and today we're in sunny Queensbury just outside of Bradford, and what a beautiful place this is. I mean, just look at the scenery behind me. But you all know we're not here to see the scenery. Well, we are, but we're actually here to look at the Queensbury to Keighley railway. Now, it wasn't called that. I'm calling it that because that's the stretch that we're doing today. So we're going to be heading from here at Queensbury Junction and all the way up to Keighley. And then at a later date, we're going to cover the other sections. So there was also a section from here down to Halifax and a section from here into Bradford as well. So 3 different lines all converging here at Queensbury Station. But we'll get to those in the future. For now, we're concentrating on Queensbury to Keighley. But as you can see behind me, this is Queensbury Junction. Now, to look at it today, it's very rural. I mean, it was back then. But you wouldn't have a clue that there was 3 different railway lines running through here with a station as well. Now, let's head down onto the site and start exploring, and I'm going to explain to you how this junction worked, hopefully, because it's confusing me, and what was here, and we're going to go looking for anything that might remain today. And of course, I might chuck in a few photo fades along the way as well. And also, if we're lucky, we might be able to see the portals of the Clayton Tunnel and the Queensbury Tunnel as well. So we'll start right here at the top of this lane, which is known as Station Lane. Obviously heads up there towards Queensbury. Now this is the route. Now we've just walked down it and it's probably half a mile down the hill. This is the original access to the station for vehicles and also for foot passengers. So if they were coming from Queensbury, which is right at the top of that hill up there, it was a long trek and it was steep as well, down here to the station. So you can see why it didn't actually prove very popular as a station, because that is one hell of a walk. And can you imagine in winter and also at night? Apparently they did light it up briefly in its later years, but it took some convincing to get some lights on this road. But over here you can see the original station house, and it's still called the station house on that sign there. So that was the station master's house for the station, and right here he would have been looking over 3 separate lines, one coming from here from Bradford, the Keighley one going off that way, and then the Queensbury Tunnel is just round there. So just before we start exploring this massive site here, I'm going to do a photo fade for you just to show you what this site used to look like, just to try and give you an idea of what we're facing here today and how different it looks. So right behind me here is where we would have had a bridge across here, across the lines, and access down to the platforms, which would have been on the Bradford line here and the Clayton Tunnel, which is just behind us over there. And it's hard to imagine because, as you can see today, it's all been infilled. So it's actually level with the path or the road that we're stood on now. But this would have been a platform bridge, like I say, and down to the platforms with a station building right in the middle of it as well. So let's do a photo fade from here just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So we're heading up towards the Clayton Tunnel portal, if we can get there. But as we're making our way up along the side of the track bed, I was looking for a footbridge that used to remain here, and it still does, because it's right here. And it's amazing to see as well. This is Andy, by the way, one of our channel members. I basically put a post out the other day saying any channel members want to come and have a little trek with me up to Queensbury, and here he is. Anyway, let's look at the bridge. Check that out. Now this looks so weird because it is not in a cutting anymore, or above a cutting should I say. It's now pretty much level with the ground. Now the first thing to mention as we're just making our way onto the bridge is there's two fence posts here with a hinge on, so that would have probably been the old access gate there. And then look at this, an old iron bridge by the looks of it, or steel, you can never tell. Let's just look over here. So as you can see today, it's level with the bridge pretty much now. That's all infilled on that side. And the same, we believe, on this side as well. Well, there's a slight cut in there, which is surprising, but it's not as deep as it would have been. And here's the other side of the bridge. So this would have been a farmer's access, I believe, and maybe or possibly a footpath as well. Again, you can see the old concrete fence posts just there in the middle. Looks so strange now just seeing them sat in the middle of nowhere, but you can get as well the topography of this land here. Just look at how rural and bumpy and rolling it is here. And it's hard to believe that there was 3 major railway lines running through here. So I've gone one better. There we go. We're on the track bed pretty much. So let's take a closer look at the bridge. So here you can see the infill, like I said. And again, we would have been further down here. But what a nice looking bridge this is. Still pretty much as it was. Right, so we've reached the portal of the Clayton Tunnel, which is on the Bradford line. So that's the footbridge back there that we were at a minute ago. And we've walked along the track bed here. Now as you can see, it's now a very steep slope up here. But the tunnel is just behind us and it's not filled in. So if you just look down there, what you don't realise is when you're up here, how deep the line is down there. You're probably talking 80 feet, 90 feet down. And the tunnel portal, I'll zoom in for you, is just in there. So that is the Clayton Tunnel entrance as it heads under Clayton in Bradford and down towards Bradford. But just look at how steep these sides are here. Now there is absolutely no way that we are shimmying down there. It is so steep on the sides. It's hard to get it on the camera, but it's also, as you can see, infested with brambles all the way down. We've just relocated round the side of the cutting, and right down there again is the portal. That is just so weird looking at this from up here. It's probably 100 feet at this point. We're a lot higher up now. And the actual top of the tunnel is just there. Now look how high up it goes, and there's this little mound of spoil here as well. So I don't know if anybody local to the area knows anything about these buildings here, but if I zoom in over there, they look pretty much railway related buildings to me, especially the patterns, the colour of the bricks. It looks like a station house or some kind of a, I don't know, railway workers house. And then again up here on the hill, this is a nice house, but it looks like a station master's house. It actually looks like a station building, but it's not. So right here, as you can see from the trees in the middle, this is where the lines would have split. So to the right you would have gone to Keighley, and to the left towards the Queensbury Tunnel. And I'm going to put this picture in here now so you can see the footbridge across the tracks here, and the little building in the middle, which I believe was actually a booking office. So here we are, right in the middle of the triangle. So here we would have been surrounded with 3 separate platforms on an island in the middle, and 3 sets of tracks all around us. It's just so hard to believe today. It's all been filled in, like I said, so what you're seeing is completely wrong, basically. We probably again would have been 10-15 feet below us where the platforms were. I believe they're still there, but buried over now. Now here, there was a viaduct on this side. So the line coming round this steep valley that you can see down here actually went onto a viaduct here as it curved around. And that was demolished, unfortunately. But as you can see, as we get to the end of the triangle here, we're about to dip back down to the track level. So you'll see how high we actually are where we are today compared to what you would have been. So we're now at pretty much the track level. So I'll just give you a heads up or try and explain where we are. So you've got the Queensbury Tunnel through there somewhere. We haven't been up there yet. The Keighley line would have been that way. And we've just come from this side, which was the Bradford line. So the triangle is up there on that mound. Now, like I said, that is filled in now. So you would have probably been at this level here. And you had the, I'm going to say concrete, they probably weren't, the stone platforms all the way around in the triangle. And you also had one on the other side as well. So in effect, there were 6 platforms at this station. Now, it kind of resembles the Shipley station in Bradford. That's a very similar sort of triangle station, although I don't think it has as many platforms as this one. Now, just while we're here, Andy's scouring.
Base of something, some metalwork on there.
He's clocked something, or see, you're getting into it already. I've taught him well.
Straight line along the back of stone as well.
You can see that, look, dressed stone. Some big bolts sticking out of it. Definitely a dumping ground here. We're going to head over there. You can see some big bits over here. That could be a platform edge stone maybe, because it's definitely a paving stone. It's things like that. This is where they would throw it, because they are literally dropping it into the landfill here and then covering over it. So they probably would have just turned it all over and, you know, dumped rubbish on top of it. But again here, could that be a station platform? Possibly. Or am I talking utter rubbish? Again here, some markings on there. That's definitely a piece of dressed stone there. You know, you don't get stone like that in the middle of nowhere for no reason. And there's what looks like a topper there as well. So we've just done a bit of sleuth work on Google Earth, and we've actually just realised from the old maps that there was a station building somewhere here. Now this looks like the outline of a building of some sort, doesn't it? So again, this would have been the track level probably, and there was 2 buildings. There was one on this platform and I think one on the other side, so it would probably add up that it was here. It actually continues, as Andy's just pointed out. If you look down there, you can see the edge there, look, of the brickwork or the stonework, and it actually continues under this tree here, which is weird. So this looks to me, it could be we just don't know, it could be a platform or a building edge, we're not sure. Now to me, it would have to have been the middle platform facing the tracks, which would have been on this side, because we're on the inside of the triangle. It's really hard to explain unless you know where you are, but there's bricks everywhere all over here as well, and stone, so definitely 100% all the dumping ground here. Okay, so after a bit more digging, we think, we can't guarantee this, we think this is the station platform. I'm going to take you over here and show you exactly what I mean. I mean, just look down there now, you can see the straight line here, heading down that way. So if I step over here, we've looked on the maps and the track bed is here on this side. And as we know, there was a platform on that side and one on this side. So this would have been the centre of the triangle here. And you can clearly see the stone wall there. I mean, I could be barking up the wrong tree here. It could just be a dry stone wall. But to me, this is too much of a coincidence that the track level or the track bed was down here and the tracks were here on the right, and there's a straight line coming up here. And that stressed stone that we found was over here. There was a building on the platform, so that could be the remains of that. And this is the platform. All they've done is taken the stone away from the front of it, basically demolished it back to bare structure. And as I make my way down, it still continues. You can see the stone under the trees here.